Hey everyone, Meta here. Which top 12 states have the highest minimum wage in America? It's a question that I think we all have in the backs of our minds. The minimum wage varies wildly across the US, and it's fascinating to see how these numbers play out in the real world. So today, we're diving into the top 12 states with the highest minimum wage in America. First up, we have our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., with a minimum wage of $17 per hour. Now I know what you're thinking. D.C. isn't a state, Meta. And you'd be right. But it's still a super interesting case study because it often has policies that are ahead of the curve. $17 an hour is significant, especially when the federal minimum wage is still $7.25. But D.C. is also a notoriously expensive place to live, so it makes you wonder, does that higher minimum wage actually make a difference? Next up, we're heading over to Washington State, where the minimum wage is $16.28 per hour. Washington is known for its stunning natural beauty, its thriving tech industry, and of course, its coffee. But it's also a state grappling with income inequality. Does that $16.28 minimum wage help to level the playing field? Coming in at number 3, it's California, with a minimum wage of $16 per hour. California is huge and diverse, with everything from bustling cities to quiet beaches to towering redwood forests. It's also home to some of the wealthiest people and most expensive real estate in the country, which makes that $16 minimum wage seem a little less impressive. Next, we're heading over to Connecticut, where the minimum wage is $15.69 per hour. Connecticut is known for its charming New England towns, its prestigious universities, and its high cost of living. Seriously, Connecticut can be expensive, especially in the areas around New York City. So that $15.69 minimum wage might not go as far as you'd think, but it's still a significant step above the federal minimum wage, and it's something that many workers in the state rely on. At number 5, we have New Jersey, with a minimum wage of $15.13 per hour. New Jersey often gets a bad rap, but it's actually a really diverse state with beautiful beaches, bustling cities, and charming suburbs. It's also home to a lot of working-class families who are struggling to make ends meet, so that $15.13 minimum wage can make a real difference. Next up is Maryland, with a minimum wage of $15 per hour. Maryland is another state that's full of surprises. It has a rich history, beautiful waterfront views, and a thriving arts and culture scene. It's also home to a lot of government workers thanks to its proximity to Washington, D.C., but Maryland also has its share of economic challenges, and that $15 minimum wage is a lifeline for many workers. Coming in at number 7 is New York, also with a minimum wage of $15 per hour. New York needs no introduction, right? It's the city that never sleeps, the cultural capital of the world, and home to some of the highest rents and cost of living in the country. So, yeah, $15 an hour doesn't go as far in New York City as it does in other parts of the state, or the country for that matter. At number 8, we have Massachusetts, with a minimum wage of $15 per hour. Massachusetts is another state with a rich history and a strong sense of identity. It's home to Harvard and MIT, some of the best hospitals in the world, and of course, the Red Sox. But Massachusetts also has a high cost of living, especially in the Boston area, so that $15 minimum wage, while helpful, doesn't always go as far as it needs to. Next up, we're heading back to the Rocky Mountains to Colorado, where the minimum wage is $14.42 per hour. Colorado is known for its stunning scenery, its outdoor recreation opportunities, and its growing tech industry. It's also a state that's seen a lot of growth in recent years, which has led to a higher cost of living in many areas. At number 10, we have Arizona, with a minimum wage of $14.35 per hour. Arizona is a state of contrasts, with scorching deserts, towering cacti, and bustling cities. It's also a state that's been at the forefront of the debate over immigration and border security. But beyond the headlines, Arizona is home to a diverse population with a wide range of economic realities. Coming in at number 11 is Oregon, with a minimum wage of $14.20 per hour. Oregon is known for its beautiful coastline, its lush forests, and its quirky cities. It's also a state that's been a pioneer in terms of environmental protection and progressive policies. But like many other states, Oregon is grappling with issues of income, inequality, and affordability. And finally, at number 12 we have Maine, with a minimum wage of $14.15 per hour. Maine is known for its rocky coastline, its delicious lobster, and its independent spirit. It's also a state that's been hit hard by the decline of manufacturing and the opioid epidemic, but Maine is also a state with a strong sense of community and a commitment to its residents. So there you have it, the top 12 states with the highest minimum wage in America. As you can see, there's a lot of variation across the country, and the impact of these minimum wage laws is complex and nuanced. It's not just about the numbers, it's about the people and the communities that are affected. We also need to address issues like access to affordable housing, healthcare, and education. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates. And be sure to let me know in the comments what you think about the minimum wage and what other topics you'd like me to cover in future videos.